What is going on, guys? It's me, Crown Figure. So today I'm gonna take a different approach, and I'm gonna teach you guys actually how to start creating games on Roblox. Because I mean, this is a skill that most people want to learn about, but it's kind of hard once you're new to the thing and you don't understand what all this stuff means. I'm gonna go ahead on this video. I'm gonna teach you guys what everything is. Uh, and then sooner or later I'll teach you guys how to code. But right now, you guys need to learn what everything right here is. Okay, so let's start. Let's go ahead and begin. We're gonna start off with the home page. So right here you have different tabs. You have the home, model, avatar, test, view, plugins. Over the time, things will update, and anytime I see a new update with Roblox Studio, I'll teach you guys um, the new features like this avatar um, tab is quite new. I mean, it's not new, but it's like pretty new. So I'm gonna start off with the home. On the home, we have the select tool. So what I can do is I can place a part. Let's place two parts. Let's go ahead and place two parts right here. Now, what you could do is you can select the part inside of this. This stuff right here that you see in here is your workspace. This is what players are gonna see when they're playing the game. This way, what players will interact with. Now, now you have the move tool. You have with the move tool, you'll be able to move parts and objects through the X, Y, and Z axis. As you can see right here, this is the Z, this is the X axis, and this is the Y axis. The scale tool basically lets you resize your parts and everything that's in this workspace. Um, as you can see right here, you can click Shift to size it on all axes, and you can press Control to size it on the relative axis. You also have rotate. What you can do is you can click Control R to kind of rotate 90 degrees, and you can click Control T to rotate 90 degrees on the Y axis. Next thing we have is mode. So you can either pick geometric, which is the one that you're mostly going to use, physical. I still don't understand this too much, but I think this is mostly for, like, I can see right here hold on. I can see that right here there's like a little constraint image, so I'm guessing it's for constraints. That's fairly new to me. Right here we have, oh yeah, so if you can double click it to kind of do this, so that way it's just stays there. Next thing we have is collisions. So let me turn it off real quick. I can show you. Right here you can see if I use the move tool, you can see that I can put the part can intersect, as you can see right here. Now if I turn on collisions, it will collide and it will not go through until it reaches a certain threshold, and it will just go through the part. And join surfaces, it's kind of the same thing, but as you can see, like, it kind of like has like a white outline right here. Yeah, you can see that white outline right there. Now the next thing we have is the terrain editor. So the terrain editor is for generating terrain. So you can click generate, and it will automatically generate some terrain from like Minecraft, how it has like a seed. Look right here, you can put in a seed. That's the generator, but then you can also create custom terrain. You can also import some terrain. Um, you have to upload height maps, which is something for a different video. So right here, we can create terrain by pressing the draw tool. Now right here I have grass, but we also have other types of material right here. You can kind of sculpt it out a bit, just kind of bring it up. And then we also have transform, which I'm pretty sure just, yeah, it's kind of like selecting And you also have fill. This will basically, you create a box and then click apply, and then it'll just make it according. But there's also like other shapes. There's not just boxes. Um, we have the smooth tool, which basically flattens out the terrain. We have flatten, kind of what smooth does, but it just tries its best to kind of flatten it out. Paint, you can change the material. So as you can see, I'm changing the material. And we also have sea level, which I don't really use, but you can create a sea, kind of like according to this part right here, it'll create a sea. And then if you don't need any more, just evaporate it. If you don't want that water. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and show you guys is the toolbox. Now, when you're a beginner, I actually suggest you guys go through the toolbox and look through the scripts just to kind of see how they work a little bit. We have, this is just like user created content right here. You have models, which is stuff that you can place in your workspace. You have modules and stuff like that. You have plugins. These are tools that you can use to help you create your game. You have audio, sound effects, images, meshes. So meshes are actually, instead of using like parts and stuff, you can use a 3D modeling software and import it into Roblox to have like much better objects. So videos is actually pretty new. Apparently now you can just import videos on parts and then it will play. Like, I'll try to run it right here. And I guess it doesn't work. Now I'll try to learn about videos because videos are fairly new. And they have fonts. These are for text objects. This is also fairly new too. Um, so you can actually apply text to UI and stuff like that. Um, Objects have something called a surface UI. Now I'll talk about instances in another video, but right now we're trying to navigate Roblox Studio. Now the next thing we have is part. Like I showed you last time, this actually just creates a part in the workspace. So you have block, sphere, wedge, corner wedge, which is a pretty new part, and we also have cylinder. Each of which you they each have their own physics. So like if I click run, the ball will probably roll. If I apply, there's not enough force. Let me try to do something. So let me just rotate the part like this. Yeah, as you can see, the ball rolls. Okay, so the next thing we have is UI. So this just brings you to the UI tab, which is also fairly new. There used to be like once you just click on Starter GUI, which is the UI, you'll just automatically take you to the thing. You can create a screen GUI, but we'll talk about that later. So next we have import 3D, which will let you import 3D files. Like this is a UGC that I created, a hat that I created for UGC, but I'm not in the UGC program yet. Hopefully in the future I will be. So this is like a drowning noob. So right, just like that, I just imported a 3D model. Oh shoot, the texture kind of got messed up, but I don't know why that happened. But I guess it's just an engine bug. Now the next thing we have is the material manager. So this is also pretty new. It used to be different. Now you can create your own materials. So if I get this sphere right here, for example, I can use foil. That looks pretty nice. It used to be kind of looking weird. Now I heard Roblox actually just added a couple years ago. They added a PBR texture, so it looks like it's having mesh deformities. Yeah, which is pretty good. It's great for the Roblox to kind of um upgrade. And right here you can select the color of the part. Oh, this thing right here. So I'll talk about values later and variables, but this is called a break value, a break color, as you can see right here, break color. So these are actually the properties of this part. So this right here is based on brick color, not color 3. Color 3 is this is color 3. You have it's much more customizable than brick color. Next thing you have is, I think these are actually um collision groups. Oh no, they're not. So this is pretty new. So you can great. I'm guessing. Let me try selecting these two parts. So you can actually do this, or you can click Shift and select the two parts. But uh groups. Let me try to figure out what this is. A group as a model. So I think this is just for modeling, but in reality, you could just press Control G to make a model, or you can press Control Shift U. I think it was. I don't remember. You can select a model to ungroup it. I forgot how to. Right here, Control U, and it ungroups the model. So this is, I guess, just for grouping. And this lock, it just basically means you can't select this part until you, as you can see, I can't select the part because it's locked. You can also change that through the properties tab. Now we have anchor, which can also be affected by the properties tab. It basically means that no physics can run on the part, and it'll just stay in the, it'll just stay wherever you put it. Yeah, as you can see, like these objects, like they'll have physics on it, and this one does not have any physics applied to it. Um, so like you see right here, you can either, this is just for testing, like you just saw right here, like I just run the game. You can also play test your game. Okay, and you can change the client server. So right here, this is your client. Now I'll talk about clients and server in a different video, but yeah. So now you also have play here, which basically plays based off of your character will basically spawn based off of where your based off of your position of your camera, or the C frame, which is basically just means coordinate frame. If you don't know what coordinate frames are, it's something that you probably learn in 5th grade, I'm pretty sure. Um, but yeah, I'll also teach you guys about coordinate frames later. Um, Now we also have this other stuff right here. This basically, because this is to stop, change the client, resume, because there's a separate tab just for testing. You can pause and you can resume. Check that. So the next thing we have is game settings. Let me just save to Roblox. Even though I'm not gonna publish this game. And also, a really great feature that Roblox just added is they officially launched on the Quest, even though it's still on beta. It's still in App Lab. It's on Quest, Oculus Quest 2, and Quest Pro, I'm pretty sure. And you can enable VR. Now, my game that I'm making, I'm gonna enable VR in it. It's pretty cool. I'll give you guys some updates on it. But you can enable VR if you want to. Let me just name my game. Cool game. Just name it, and you can add a description. Now, if you have a group, you click this, and you can click whatever group you want. If you want it to be in a group, genre. Now, Team Create just basically lets you create with other players and developers. Click Save. Now, once you have published your game, you can tweak some settings right here, like your game's name, description. Now, Roblox also added age limits, so you can do this questions, so that way it's properly um restricted for certain age groups. And we have enable, this is for voice chat and face tracking playability. So this is who can play your game. So right now it's private, so nobody's going to be able to play this game. We have monetization, so badges, game products like right here, paid access, private servers. So badges is basically like a badge that the player gets awarded for doing something. So you can also have paid access to your game, so people can have to pay like how big paintball currently is in beta. You have to use paid access to, and also I think what's it called, Bloxburg too. Private servers, VIP servers, whatever you call them, and developer products are basically game passes, but you can use them concurrently. Allow HTTP services basically allows you to connect to remote servers like it allows you to do some great stuff, like you can connect your game to Discord and stuff like that to do updates. um Enables access to studio to API. So these are mostly for API services. Now you don't really need to use this unless you have a data store. You need to store data for your game without third-party sales. So basically, if you have, oh, sorry for that. If you have like stuff that isn't yours, like you want to like you have something called like purchase prompts, and this will basically disable like sales from items that are not yours. So if you enable it, then it lets people, or it lets others stuff like other people's hats. It allows those stuff to be out for sale. So third party teleports just basically lets you teleport your players to other games places. So inside of a game, you can have multiple places and you can teleport between each place. So you can create a new one right there. Localization is mostly used for translation of the game for strings. Now, string values it just basically means text. So avatar. So this basically affects the avatar, the player's avatar. So it's R6 is less limbs, R15 is more limbs. Player's choice just means that they can choose which one they want. So animation, those are like the animations that they have, like the walking animation, stuff like that. You can choose the regular, or you can make the one that the players can choose what animation they have. And then we have collisions. So like I showed you last time, it allows you to collide. Now, but there's two type of collisions. There's the outer box, which is basically the outside of the part, and there's the inner box, which is, like it says, inside of the part. Now, these are just the proportions of the character. Face. This can basically allow you to override what the character is wearing. So now we have world. So this basically affects mostly just the workspace. So we have um gravity. So this lets you change the gravity of the workspace. Jump power basically says how high your player can jump. Walk speed, how fast your player can run, etc. Slope, max slope angle. Okay, so this is actually new, and I have no clue what it does, but I'll try to research on that. Okay, so what this does actually. Mhm.
Vengo por la ropa sucia.
Okay, está bien.
¿Estás bien? ¿Todo bien?
Yes.
Bueno. Oye,
¿Mm?
¿y esto por qué no lo has guardado?
Ah, ok.
¿No
Sí,
tienes cajón?
sí puedo hacerlo ahora.
¿Sí lo puedes hacer?
Ujú.
Bueno, por favor, mi amor, para que tengas más espacio.
Ok,
Esto te quita espacio,
ok.
pero bueno, ponlo en pausa y luego le sigues.
Okay.
Ok, ok.
Okay, so the max slope angle is actually the maximum slope angle that a player can actually walk on a part. So like for example, I'm gonna make the max slope angle 90 degrees, which actually the maximum you can do is 89 because 90 degrees is impossible to walk on top of. Let's just say 30. Um, so I'm gonna place a part. Gonna click right here, rotate back 30 degrees. 30, 30 degrees right there. And then I'm gonna duplicate it by pressing Control D. And we're gonna make it a steeper angle. So rotate and make it a little taller. We're scaling it on the x-axis like that. Make sure to anchor it so that way no physics is applied to the part. Click play here. So we can climb up. Oh, as you can see, like it's kind of struggling, but if it's past 30, we can't climb up with it. We can, but like the player is struggling too. So let's check out the other settings we have here. Okay, so collaborative editing is basically for team creates, so that way multiple people can come in studio and edit the game and shut down it just shuts down all the servers that is currently running on your game, all the servers. So that's all for the settings. Let's move on to the team test. So team test is basically for team create only. It allows you to play with multiple people. We also have exit game. That's also for team test, as you can see. So the next tab that we're gonna be looking at is the model tab, which is mostly used just for interacting with the parts. Now we've already seen these. Transform is pretty new. It's basic. It's just like lets you transform the part basically. Um, as you can see, I don't really don't know how to use this too much. It's fairly new, but it just looks like it's moving stuff. Now, I've already showed you guys this. Uh, so right here we have rotate and move. So this is basically the increments of how much you want it to move. This is by degrees and this is by studs. So right here we have 30 degrees. If we uncheck it, then we can freely move it around. And if we rotate it, it'll rotate by increments of 30 degrees. Same goes right here. You can move it freely. And I'll move it by increments of 0.5 studs. So just for reference, this is one stud. Size 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So for reference, this is a stud right here. And we're basically moving half a stud, as you can see. We're on the line. We also have edit pivot point, so this is a new feature as well. So this allows you to kind of rotate, change the pivot point of the part. So like move it, um, rotate it, as you guys saw right there. It's rotating based on this point right here. Then we have the line tool. So this is basically just as it says, it's just for aligning parts. Um, Now this is new, but it's not fairly new. I've never personally used it. Um, I really don't know how to use it, so this will be for a future video. But basically what it does is just aligns the part. And again, we have par, material, color, group, lock anchor. Okay, so this is new. We have solid modeling here. Um, so this basically, I have a part right here. And we can make two parts into one. This isn't like grouping. This just makes two parts into one instead of being a group of parts. Like if I select these two, they'll become one union, just like that. And then we also have intersect is fairly new. I'll try to see what that is. We also have negate, which basically separates apart, separates, you'll see, hold on. As you can see, like it's separated this part from this part. Right here, if you want to separate a union, you just click separate. Now, let me see, intersect. I'm pretty sure intersect is just the same thing as clicking union. I have no clue what it does. But, so now the next thing is constraints. So I'll have another video about all about just constraints right here. But it's basically just physics objects that you can use. So for example, we have a rope object. So if I have this one, if I have two parts right here, and I anchor this one, so I turn off the physics on this one, and then I go ahead and click constraint, and I create a rope constraint. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put in the middle that part and this part, and then I go ahead. I think this one should be unanchored, so I meant to press run, but that's fine. Um, yeah, as you can see, if there's physics being applied based on a rope object. So yeah, that's the constraints are normally just for physics. And then now we have this stuff that just shows the welds, constraint details. Oh, this is the size of the constraint, I'm pretty sure. Now we have effects. So this applies effects to an object, like fire. This part's too big. Like as you can see, it applied the fire effect on it. And we have spawn. This spawns in a spawn point, so whenever the player runs or plays, it'll spawn them towards that part. Okay. Now we have um, insert object. So this is basically, these things are called instances. So you can insert any instance on Roblox. Like let me go ahead and insert a click detector, which basically just detects for clicks whenever a part is clicked. But I'll teach you guys about instances in a later video. Um, we have models, sorry. You can import RBXM files, which are basically Roblox model files. So you can right click on model and you can actually save it as a file. You can import it anytime you want. So these are services. So you can insert services that are not currently enabled, like chat service, um, localization service, test service. So chat service is basically anything that does with the chat. Localization service is mostly used for translation. Test service, I have no clue what test service is, but as the name says, I think it's for testing. And the voice chat service, which is new because voice chat's actually pretty new to Roblox. Pretty sure it's just for tweaking settings. Yeah, as you can see. Next thing we have is the collision groups. So basically, collision groups. This is physics related. So what I can do, let me delete this, is I can have a part right here. So I have default add group. Uh, let's just say parts, right? and this is default. So I'm gonna put this part right here. Okay, I'm gonna add a new group and I'm gonna call this part 2. Then I'm gonna insert 2 other parts. I'm gonna insert 2 other parts right here. Just like that. I'm gonna put one part in part 2, and the other part is gonna stay in default. So I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna deselect default, and you'll see that this part will collide, but this part won't if I did it correctly. Oh, it just fell through because I did not anchor it. Sorry. Where's the part at? Anchor. As you can see, this part went through. This part is not going through it. So that's collision groups. And now we have run script. So I don't use this, but I think what it does is it just runs a script based off of a file, but I really don't know what it does. Right here you can create scripts, so I'll teach you guys about scripting in a later video. We have local scripts, which basically runs on the client. These are server scripts, which run on the server. And we have module scripts, which is used to store uh, variables and functions, just for organization, basically. Yes? What? Fucking what? Can you leave me alone? Okay, I closed the door for a reason.
Why?
Because I don't want you in my room. Yes. Joaquin, stop. Joaquin, just stop talking. Please just leave me alone. Alright, so the next tab we have right here. Alright, so the next tab that we have right here is the avatar tab. So this is basically mostly for animation and importing rigs. Again, you have the select, scale, rotate, and transform. This. Now this right here is for accessories. So it's mostly used for UGC creators. These two right here. This is basically to fit on player. So if I create a rig, so you want to click rig builder. I guess I'll just use a skin avatar. Meshed avatar. Right here is basically just for fitting accessories, creating accessories for layered clothing. Most of it's just for layered clothing. Then you have import 3D. This is for importing skin meshes or skin rigs. Sorry, rig builder. It basically builds a rig as you just saw. Like you can build your avatar. You can build ortho characters, which I still think are terrible. You have these mesh avatars. Or you can upload R6 or R6, sorry, R15 or R6. And then you have the avatar preview. It basically shows you what accessories it's wearing. You can, hold on, I don't know what just happened. So I'm pretty sure this is just for creating packages. But yeah, I don't know what I just did there. You probably will never use this unless you're a UGC creator. And this you'll probably use a lot. It's the animation creator, so this lets you create animation based on keyframes. So like this, I can rotate the arm. So let's just do like a basic waving. So right here, creating a waving animation. So we just created a basic waving animation. So I mean, yeah, so you can just create animations using this, but there's a plugin called Moon Animator, which is a lot better. But I personally still use this because I don't understand Moon Animator too much. Because because Roblox just recently added inverse kinematics. If I enable IK, look, I'll show you what it is. So basically moves part towards an endpoint, as you can see here. um, so now we have the test tab. This is mostly just used for testing. So as you saw right here, you have your run, play here, all that stuff. And then you can also run a local server on your computer. So I can put 2 players right here, and I can simulate a server, 2 people in a server. It does take a while to load because you're simulating a server basically. So this is your server right here, and then you'll pop up with 2 clients based on the amount of clients you decided to choose right here. 2 players. So this is my client 1. This is my client 2. I'm pretty sure. So yeah. So after you're done, you can just click clean up, leave. That's it. Now you can also emulate devices right here, so you can use iPhone, um, desktop sizes, mostly used for GUI and for touch control emulation, for controls of mobile devices. I personally use it a lot because most of my games are cross-platform. We also have this player. This is for now I don't know what this is for. Our ads allowed. So I have no idea what that's for, but yeah, I don't know what. I think this just mutes the audio inside of the server that you're currently playing. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this just toggles mutes sound in the game because you can create sound instances like this, which play audio, of course. Um, oh, so the view tab has quite a bit. This is already quite a long video, but it takes quite a while just to learn how to start up Roblox Studio. So these are just for tabs basically, just to see. Uh, so right here, this is a tab, this is a tab, this is a tab. So we have the Explore tab, which basically lets you explore the instances in your game. You have the Properties tab, which lets you see the properties of a part right here. So I can like change the position, pivot point, all that stuff. The transparency, how see-through it is. We have the Asset Manager, which is what it's used for managing assets, of course, like plays, images, meshes. You can import meshes through here, images. You can see the places that you have through here. You can revert in case you need to restore. You can click view history and restore the old version of a place. Pretty sure you can do the same with all these other stuff right here. And now we have the toolbox, which is you can also view through here. um, Object browser. This basically shows you all the instances that Roblox has and all the servers, services, all that stuff. I personally don't know what it's used for, but yeah. Next thing we have is next thing we have is the output, which is right here. It basically shows you the output of any scripts that you have. It'll basically output any errors, warnings, stuff like that. So like if I go ahead and come over here and I press, let me clear out the output real quick. If I go ahead and print a command, here I'll print a string value. I'm gonna do hello world. As you can see, it printed hello world. So this actually has to do with scripting. Teach you guys in a later video how to script. That'll be a series actually. We also have performance. This basically shows you the performance of the game while it's running. Also shows you CPU usage and all that stuff. Task scheduler. This is mostly used for this is also mostly just used for debugging and performance. Pretty sure. I don't personally use this because I don't know what it's used for. We have script performance. It shows you like the how much usage or performance the script is using. Pretty sure. So this basically finds every string instances and all that stuff in the game. So if I could search a part, you'll find the part in scripts. So I'm pretty sure this actually just looks for um, I'm pretty sure it just looks for strings inside of a script. Uh, Now we have the team create, which is for creating games with other people. So you can turn it on. You can invite a friend to play and edit your place with you to test. And as you can see, I lied because it does take a while for it to load. Script recovery, as it says, it's usually used for just for recovering scripts. Let me go back. Uh, it's mostly used just for recovering scripts that you may have lost. So it's like the asset manager basically, but just for scripts. And then we have the terrain editor again, which can be accessed through here, and also have team chat. This is only for team create. Like if you want to talk to your team members while you edit. We have the tag editor. This is for creating tags on objects. I don't normally use this, but create there's tag settings as well. Um, I don't really use this. I mean, there's no use of this unless you really need to use it. Call stacks. Um, I don't know what this is, but you have no clue what this is, so I'll leave this for a future video. Breakpoints. So these are script breakpoints. So whenever you have a script, you can implement a breakpoint in your script. Like this. How do like just like that. There's a breakpoint on your script. It basically pauses the game and resumes you to this to where you've added the breakpoint. To just add a breakpoint, you just have to click right here on this black bar right here. Sorry, right here, right next to the number. Now we have the view selector. So this basically shows us our X, Y, and Z axis to manipulate our camera. Now speaking about manipulating camera, you can pan by holding the middle mouse button. And you can also rotate your camera by holding the right mouse button. You can also click WASD to move around. And you can click shift to slow down. I forgot which one was used to speed up. And you can also use the mouse wheel to go back and forth. And then we have the wind direction. This is new. This is for physics. Mostly used for grass, as you can see. We can change the speed of the wind for this grass right here. So we have full screen. This just puts your Roblox Studio in full screen. Screenshot. This takes a screenshot. This records video. Show grid. This basically adds this grid thing. It's good for building. I personally don't use it too much. As I said, the new base plate already has a default grid texture on it, and you can change the grid material. So this is wireframe. So if you've ever used Blender, which I assume you haven't, you can see through this. It just changed into wireframe format of the objects. Switch windows. Switch windows basically just you can just switch between these three windows that you have right here. So like you can pull this out and it'll become its own window. You can just put it back in. I remember how to. Here you go. We have selection style. So Roblox has actually added a new selection style. It used to be just a box. But look, if I click this mesh object, because this is like kind of deformed, you see how it creates an outline. But it used to just be a box like that. So you can just switch between box, no, or you can have both actually. So I personally like the outline. Some people just like the box for some reason, and I've never heard of anyone that likes to have both. Um, Stats, this is for debugging, mostly for frames and all that stuff. Um, it's just for performance, mostly, for making your game much more suitable for slower devices if you want to. We also have clear, which is for testing. Now we have the last tab, which is plugins. So plugins are tools that you can use to help you create your game. So like for example, this stuff right here, they can be found in the plugins in the toolbox, or you can find them inside of roblox.com. Uh, like for example, I have this Moon Animator. It's basically a better version of the animation that we have right here. So I have this plugin right here. Hold on. Brick Cutter, for example. Pretty old plugin, but somehow still works. So we have Brick Cutter, and we're gonna use a cut on a single axis. I think it's already broken because it's pretty old. Oh no, it still works. It just cut my part for me. So yeah, those are just tools that are created by other people, and you can create your own plugins as well. Um, that's through a service. You have to script these plugins. Now, curve cutter. Um, this is just manipulating the CG, not the CG, but like the parts to create like a curved part. Yeah. So that's it for these tabs right here. Home, model, avatar, tests, and you also have this right here, run. It's for playtesting. Stop right here. You also have undo. You can undo. You also use Control Z and Control Y. This Control Z is to undo, and this is to redo. Right here we have quick open. This is to create a new game. Click file. We can create a new game. Can open a game from file. Download a copy. So what we really need to know is you really need to know these ones right here. These four. So I'll save to Roblox. It just saves your game. Make sure to always save after you make like drastic changes so you don't lose any data. And also you have publish to Roblox. So once you're ready to make like an update available to everybody, you just click this button right here, publish to Roblox. And you can also save to files. On my instant in my can save to files by clicking save to Roblox as and publish. So publish to Roblox as actually publishes this place to a game, and you can overwrite it or you can create a new one. You can overwrite that place. Let's see what else. And so some couple of tips. So like I showed you guys last time, you can press Control D. You can press Control D to duplicate. You can press Control C, Control V to copy and paste. And also, like I showed you guys last time, you can press R to rotate 90 degrees and T to rotate on the y-axis 90 degrees. We also have these models right here. Now, I personally do not use models as they can contain some malicious script that tries to inject virus into your game, which allows other people to hack your game. So basically, it's like a backdoor. So I rather not use You can use them, right? But make sure that scripts that it has inside are not malicious. Of course, Roblox has some safe, like the official Roblox account has safe assets right here. You can also view your models. You can create your own models. Like right here, I have some. I'm working on a VR system. Um, so that's basically it for the studio. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, so that way this video is seen by others. Share. If you found this helpful, definitely subscribe. Because you'll definitely find my other tutorials way more helpful. Because this was just the basic overview of Roblox. One thing I actually need to teach you guys is UI before I go. So I forgot about this tab. So when you create a UI, you can insert a frame. So it's basically just 2D objects. You can insert a image button. So these are just different UI instances you can insert. It has snapping. Pretty sure you can turn off the snapping somewhere. I don't know how to. Uh, but yeah, that's all the tabs. That's all you need to know to start off Roblox Studio. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and hopefully you guys found these tutorials useful, and guys create some amazing games sooner or later. All right, see you guys next time.